So, here at Smeraglia, when a puppy is born and welcomed into the world, the very first thing that happens outside of them being taken out of their sack by their mom or the assistant, the vet tech, what is the very first thing that happens to your puppy?
They are identified. We put an identification on them, which is their tag color and bow color. And then they're weighed, and then all the notes are taken about the delivery, how much they weighed, what time the delivery occurred, all of the things. But the very first thing is they get identified.
You get your defining, it is a defining moment. When you are born, you get that paper, color paper tag that goes around your neck. But there is like a method to it too.
There is always a method to our madness.
Okay, so let's see how many of you that have been with us for a while know. If you're born and you're a boy. Okay. Joe, you let us know who comes up with it first. Okay, they're going to answer and you tell us.
First boy, right?
First boy, what color tag do you get? Come on.
Yeah.
Counting down.
We need Jeopardy music, Will.
Jeopardy music. Does anybody know what tag color is the firstborn boy?
So while we're waiting to get a minute is so this defines them. And
someone said something.
Which one?
Karen Kraus Schleider said blue.
That's correct.
You are the winner.
Ding, ding, ding,
Yes, you won. Okay. Now, if you're the second born boy, what color do you get? Okay, we'll find out if they know. See how smart they are and how long they've been watching. That they're going to know.
Oh, yeah.
What were you saying though about these?
So if I had talked to you about your dog who's 12 years old, I'm still going to go, oh my gosh, that was Storm Blue or Storm Blue Dot, whichever, because we will carry that identification with them all the way throughout their lives.
What did they say?
Aaron Gilman Dahl said green.
You are right. We got some little smarties here today. Okay, now we had two puppies. One was born, it was a boy. Now we got a girl. What's their tag color going to be?
It's been the theme of the day today. Just making random noises.
Anybody? Okay, the puppy number 3 is a girl. What is she? That's what we got to know. And what happens? Did they know, Joe?
We don't know yet.
Pink.
That's right.
That was Karen again.
Karen, you are just a little smarty pants, okay? But see, that is how it rolls here at Smeraglia. So now so what is this?
This is pink.
There is your little tag. Look, it's so little. Okay, they don't start out this little. They actually
start out the size of this container.
Yeah, they're like wide. So this is like split down the middle. And yes, somebody actually has to cut them and split them, and then they put them back in there. Okay, now let's go through the colors again. You are the third born boy. Puppy number 4 is a boy. What color is he? Who knows the answer? Let's find out.
So I'm going to go ahead and pull out the ones we've already said.
Okay, so we got pink and blue.
So
all right,
our first boy was blue.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that just fine.
Second one was green.
Yes.
And then our next puppy was a girl.
Okay, you're going to do her. Here we go.
Now,
this is our litter.
Do we have our answer?
Who is it? What did they say?
Let's see.
I love testing.
Muller said orange.
You are so right. Look how smart y'all are, little smarty pants over there. But that was puppy number 4.
Correct.
It was born number 4. All right, now it's going to get a little bit more complicated. What's the next puppy? She's a girl. What color tag is she going to be? This is so cool because we know. Everybody that works here knows this. And when we look at the puppies, it gives us pretty much their birth order as far as gender goes, boys and girls.
It does. It absolutely does.
So what's the next color? Joe, let us know. So we've got to know which one. Play along. And let's see if they know that.
It's fixing to get harder.
Okay, it's going to get harder. This is going to get harder because things have to change.
It's so, it's cool to me too, is so many people use this to help name their puppy. We have so many like Chloe Blue like today that will go home and be named Blue.
Oh, absolutely. And they are referred to, and the reason that it is like so important to us, because as Carol or we're communicating with the staff, they'll call up and they'll say, hey, so Chloe Pink has lost a little weight, so we've been weighing them, and we have a book, and in the book, every day we have a sheet. So it'll have the litter, it'll have the mom's name, the birthday, and then it'll have the tag colors, okay? And then it'll have columns. And so they have to go and weigh every single puppy, depending on their age, some 3 times a day. And so it's like, okay, Blue tag weighed this much this morning, okay? In the midday, now this is newborns, because that's the only way you can know if a puppy's thriving.
Right, you gotta weigh them.
Right. And so then they write down Chloe Blue's weight, 0.05. Brand new baby,
Right.
you know. And then of course, as the days and weeks pass, they're going to end up being in the nursery, and they're going to be all the way up to 8.0 pounds.
Right.
Or 3.0 or whatever.
Right. Yeah, whatever size they get to, they absolutely get there. And the other thing too with weight and kind of monitoring that is, if there's a puppy we're worried about, we'll put them on a status check, and they may get weighed every hour.
So Joe, do we
keep
have
up
an
with it.
answer?
We do.
Who is it?
Trisha Spar said red.
That's
Trisha,
correct.
she's a smarty pants too. She's got it. All right. Red tag girl. That's perfect. All right. Now we went through that. Okay. Now the next puppy is definitely a girl.
Okay.
She's a girl. Now, what tag color is she going to be? We got to know, because we got to keep up with them, and we've got to weigh these puppies. We've got to maintain them, and we've got to know what's going on.
Yes.
And let's say you come in and you notice something about them. How do you utilize these tag colors on an everyday basis with your staff?
So we utilize them for, go ahead. Did you have an answer?
Aaron Gilman Dahl said white.
Correct.
I'm just telling you, they're just so smart. They know it all. Now, this right here, you have went through the primary colors of the first 6 puppies that could be born, okay? These are our main colors. Now, if you're born and we're very concerned, maybe you got fluid in your lungs when you were born, or something happened and Carol was like, we've got to watch that baby.
Or it even could be something where it just needs to be flags for people to be aware. So maybe you were born with a little kink in your tail. You're totally fine, but your tail has a kink in it.
Or you're so tiny
Yeah.
and we think, you might be a little premature. What are we going to do? We're going to keep an extra watch on them.
We are.
But we're going to give you a special tag color. What do you think that would be? Does
we have an
anybody
answer.
know? They're just
Trisha said yellow.
yellow tag. Now, does yellow tag, is that like a terrible thing to think that I got a yellow tagged baby?
No, it isn't. And here's the other thing. So the yellow tag isn't the only tag. The yellow tag is a partner tag. So everybody still gets their original identification. So you may have a blue tag boy who gets yellow tagged, which this is just a caution flag that tells everybody watch something.
And everybody on every shift that works, they know, as we walk around and we look at the babies, we walk through and we look. If we see a yellow tag, we stop and we pay attention. Not that we don't look at all the puppies, very intently, but that puppy, we all know, keep an extra watch on that puppy. Make sure, puppies have that twitch, that move, they breathe and they just twitch and do little puppy things.
Yeah.
And it's their neurological system just practicing.
Right. And if we're not seeing that,
And we'll get in there and we'll check, or maybe that puppy has got away a little bit, and we're like, oh, it's a little slower. We got to get that puppy and put it up there and keep it warm. Make sure it stays on the heating pad and everything like that.
right. So the yellow tags are also carried not just with our staff in the nursery and cottage that watch the puppies, but also with our media teams.
Yes.
And so sometimes you may see a newborn litter where you've got, say, a blue, a green, a pink. You've got all these 6. But if one of those puppies gets yellow tagged for some reason, it won't be included in the media because we're going to lower the stress level on any puppy that we're watching, which means they may not get their pictures at that time because it's more important to us that the puppy not have the stress versus something going on.
Yeah, and that's really good. Now, can there be more than one yellow tags in a litter?
Yes, there can.
Absolutely. If we think 3 or 4 puppies were born, with special things that we need to, watch, then we could yellow tag the whole litter.
And honestly, we have, and where that occurs is, one of the litters we're going to talk about today is a very, very large litter. So we expect that weaning is going to be a little bit longer process, which means the dates that you normally would have on that litter are going to be different. So that entire litter will get yellow tagged, but not because there's anything really going on with the puppies per se, but to flag for the office that there's something that they need to be watching and paying attention to, that the dates for this litter are going to be a little bit different.
Okay, now I've got a trick question. Okay, there's your 3 boys. Let's move them like this. Okay, let's pretend that your puppy, okay, we have blue, green, and orange boys. Okay, what's going to happen if the 4th puppy was a boy again? What is going to happen? Do we have a new color? Or what do we do? Does anybody know? Because we do something special for this boy. Yes?
Aaron Dahl said blue dot.
We start adding the dots, okay? And so what happens is we do the dots. So if 4 is a boy and then 5 is a boy, we're going to continue with the dots for our 3 primary colors. So we've got the dots now. Okay, we just got a heavy boy litter happening. So now we have 6 boys, and then the 7th boy is born. And this happens a lot. What do we do? Do we add a new color, or do we start over with the same color? And if we do, what do we add to that color? Anybody remember? Because many of you know, because you've got that. Okay, what's the next one? I know I got too many smarty pants out there, Carol.
I know, and I'm thinking, what happened?
Barbie Huff said stripe.
Yes, you are absolutely right. Who said that?
Barbie Huff.
Barbie, you know. All right, and so what happens is we end up with stripes, okay? And so we put the stripes down, and we will do, you might not
We're
have
going to
other
pretend
stripes.
this is a stripe.
Okay, so then we do a blue stripe, a green stripe, and an orange stripe. Now, after we have done this and exhausted all of our stripes and dots and solid colors on boys and girls, pink, red, white, we do the same thing over. We do red dot, pink dot, red dot, white dot, and then we do the same thing with our stripes. So now, how many puppies do we have, Carol?
Well, we can have up to 9 of each gender with this. And we don't typically get 18 in a litter.
No, we don't.
But
What
our
happens-
moms don't like to give us the same number of boys and girls.
No. Now, what happens when we have exhausted every dot color, every color? What happens next? All of a sudden, Carol, give me the scenario, how it happens.
So this actually happened this weekend. We had Martha, who had a boy, and then a boy, and then another boy, and then another boy, and then a girl, and then another boy, and then another boy, and then another boy, and then a girl, and then she had 3 more boys, and then a girl, and then 2 more boys, for a total of 13 puppies.
So what, whoa, don't tell them.
Okay.
What tag color?
Right.
Answer.
Did they get-
It's 10 boys, 3 girls. So
Okay.
what was the other boy?
Barbie Huff said purple.
Yes, it's purple.
It is.
Purple.
And we don't actually have purple tags, but we write purple tag. literally on it, so that we know.
Are a purple tag. And purple is a great color, you know?
It is. It's such a blessing because
It's royalty.
It is. It's royalty. It's rare. It's very, very special. And it means that we were blessed with a phenomenal litter of puppies.
It is. It's so fabulous. And I don't know how many of you have this book. It's the Doodle Puppies book. Let me get over here. And it's one of my favorite books. This is a book that Meredith and I worked on together. It's our story about the first few days. It's the first few weeks in the life of the teddy bear Goldendoodle puppies of Smeraglia Farm. And inside this book, it goes through and explains it. And there's such a great picture and story of the tag colors. It's very beautiful. And I thought, you know, a lot of you guys have that coffee table book and have seen it. And we absolutely love it. But it's exciting. So let's talk about this big litter of puppies. So they all just get purple tag, no dots, no stripes or nothing.
Well, it depends because we have had it happen where we had a mom have 12 puppies. Every one of them was a girl. And so
it had to be purple solid.
And then purple dot.
And then purple stripe.
And then purple stripe.
Golly, what a blessing. But that is not normal here at Smeraglia Farm.
And we've never had more than 12 of one gender. And because I know this is going to be the next question, but I'm not going to answer it. I would love to let people guess what's been our largest litter ever born.
Wonder if they know.
I know the answer. You know the answer.
Yeah,
let's see if they do. And we'll come back to that and see what everybody
if anybody remembers. I remember.
Yes. So
it was a miracle litter.
It was definitely a miracle litter.
Yes.
And so because, you know, we love all of our parents, we love our puppies, we want to set up everybody for success. You have a guess?
Tracy Tiller said 14.
Nope.
You heard about that litter. I know you were thinking.
Karen said 17.
That's it. 17.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a litter of 17. Oh my gosh. And everybody did great.
Okay, but what happens when that happens? We have a lot of work because there is no way we're going to let a mom care for 17 puppies by herself. Somebody would suffer.
Yeah, and so
she only has so many little ninnies.
That's absolutely true. And so what we do in our nursery, because we do take great care of our moms, we want to make sure that they're conditioned and taken care of like athletes. And so our rule of thumb is any litter that is 6 or greater goes on rotation feedings. And any litter that's larger like this, we do, so rotation feeding, let me stop and describe that. Basically, the litter gets split in half. And then just
it's like 2 litters of puppies now.
And what we'll do is that every 2 hours, half gets bottle fed while the other half nurses, and they're kind of there, and then we flip them, and we flip them, so that the mom always is able to nurse and be with her puppies, be with her babies.
And lick them and clean them, because that's very important. Mom has to stimulate with her tongue the newborns to go potty. She has to do that.
But we do the supplement feeding because we want to make sure those puppies are growing. And it's got to be so hard on a mom to have that many puppies. And she's going to produce the milk that her puppies pull and require. That's just a lot. That's a lot of pulling her down. That's a lot of calories being burned. So us providing that supplement feeding every 2 hours, very, very important. And we do that on all litters of 6 or more. So if it's a litter of 8, if it's a litter, they get supplement fed. Now, we do the rotation supplement feedings on litters of 10 or more, where we split them in half. If it's just 8 puppies, we don't have to split it in half to do that supplement. But it works really, really well and effectively with our moms and our babies. We have a great success rate with that for the moms to rebound really well, the puppies to be able to stay on track and absolutely grow and develop. They do get to stay with their mom throughout that. So we're not doing, half of the litter with mom and then like half in an incubator. The whole litter is with the mom. We just every 2 hours bottle feed half of the litter.
And then they're so fat and happy, they don't go nurse.
Correct.
And that's good. That was one of Natalie's favorite things, growing up here on the farm. She would always love to go down there and bottle feed. When she was little, she would love to go down there and help with the bottle feed. And I've got pictures of her being a little girl, sitting there holding the puppies and holding the bottle just right, because there is a technique.
There's definitely a technique.
You can't just let anybody bottle feed a puppy, because you can actually, the fluid could go down the lungs or something like that. So you got to make sure that they're sucking right and that it's not dripping, coming out too much, or we could actually hurt the puppies. Yeah, and cause aspiration pneumonia or something like that. So it is a technique that you have to really watch and be on top of.
Absolutely. And you know what? Our team down in the nursery does an amazing job of keeping up with the supplement feeding, with the rotations that the litters go on automatically, because everybody loves the moms, loves the babies. We definitely keep up with all of them. And now, even with the rotation feeding, you got to think when the mom is pregnant and there's 13 puppies, even a big girl like Martha, the puppies are going to tend to be born a little bit smaller, and that's where they're going to be a little bit delayed with weaning. We've got to watch them, and so we do pay attention to that. But the other thing I always caution people on is, we have a litter right now, Athena's litter. Beautiful litter. They're available on the website. But they're largest, but they look right now like they're trending a little bit small. Well, there were 11 puppies in that litter. And so they're going to be born a little bit smaller, but they're going to catch up at the end.
It's just like any preemie or somebody that was born smaller, or twin, or multiple births. I know one of my best friends, Edie, had twins, and you could hold them in the palms of her hands when they were little, and they were like tiny. Well, they're not tiny now; they're bigger than their mom. Way taller. They're like 5'9". She's like 5'3". Tall girls, beautiful tall girls, and she was like, and this was the one I could hold in the palm of my hand.
Yeah.
And it's so sweet.
Well, and that's the purpose of the yellow tag too, because we want to set realistic expectations for you guys. So these babies right now are a little over a week old, and they're mediums, which means typically they would leave at 8 weeks. So if that's a litter that you're being offered, we don't want to say to you, hey, plan on 8 weeks old being the leave date. If we know in a large litter there's a chance they're going to have to be held back a little. So we want to be upfront with you guys about that. That's why they'll get a yellow tag, so that we can go ahead and say, hey, the dates might be a little different on these, just to make that flag.
And because of the just the reproductive cycle of the female dog, I mean, people are not aware that some of the puppies could actually have been conceived on days apart.
Definitely.
So some of the puppies born, some of them might be conceived on, day 10 of the cycle of the female, or 12, and then some could have been conceived as late as 14 or day 16. 4 days in the life of a puppy is a big deal.
Yes, when they're only pregnant for 63 days, 4 days does make a big difference one way or the other. And you can have that in utero age difference, that gestational age difference.
It's interesting.
But labor occurs based on, basically based on the due date. Now, if a puppy was conceived a little later than a different one, then it's actually probably
because the first one's in or the first one's out.
And they're what triggers everything else to happen. So you can actually have a few that are like 4 days premature, like
and
what you're
those
saying.
we have to watch. And so sometimes we'll wean a certain group, and we're keeping these 3 or 4 back because they need another week, because they're really half a week behind the other ones.
That's the really great thing that you've got set up here is treating each puppy as an individual, meeting their needs, meeting the mom's needs. And hey, if these 3 puppies are ready to wean and move on, well, hey, we'll say, hey, they're on track, their dates are good, but the rest of the litter maybe needs to hold. So we're going to adjust based on each individual puppy.
So you guys let us know what tag color your puppies were. I was thinking about this talk today, and I was like, I remember London, from Jill and Jonah, and she was like pink dot girl, and I was like, I remember that. It goes with them their whole life, and it's just such an endearing thing.
It is. I wonder how many people watching have a purple tag puppy.
Anybody have a purple tag puppy? That would be really cool. I know they remember the 14 litter with Dorothy. Remember Dorothy's? And that was a great litter, and it was our miracle litter, and some of them might even have a Dorothy puppy, But today we were doing a video of a Dolores puppy that was born December 2021, and she came back to us, and she's going back through some training right now, and is going to be available. But even though she had a name, we were like, no, who is she?
Yes.
Who is she? She's Dolores who? She's Dolores Red.
Yes.
So now she reverted back. Even though she has her name, she reverted back to Dolores Red today.
Yes.
That's how we refer to them, and I love that.
Yeah, and they keep their tag color, and then when they're 4 weeks old, the tag color gets married to a microchip number.
Yes.
So that even if the tag happens to come off, we can scan them and repair that back up so that they are always connected with their permanent identification.
Joe, anybody comment on that? What did they say?
Bobby Huff said Winnie was Remy White and Bo was rosin green.
Okay.
Oh, white and green. Love that. Love it. I know. And doesn't that just make you know in this, you can kind of envision, okay, I know when my puppy was born, kind of in that birth order thing. And a lot of people are into birth orders, you know?
Oh, they are. I've talked to lots of people that they only want a female that was born third if it was one of the, and like all, oh yes, kind of things. Like it's got to be a girl born third amongst everything. And if the third puppy born in this litter was a boy, they don't want a puppy from that litter.
Wow, they're like really into numerology.
Absolutely. So
That's
yeah, we
really
do get
cool.
that.
That is really, really
Yeah,
cool.
I always want somebody to explain to me why that. You know, what causes that? Because that's just, I don't understand, but it's fascinating to me.
either. But I mean, a lot of people have their reasons, and it's they have it, and it's, you know, it's sensitive to them. I mean, it's meaningful. They have their, maybe they don't tell us, you know, but
Yeah.
it's really interesting. I like that.
I do too. It's always interesting to me how when somebody's really connected to a litter, how it always works out. Like they can say things like, I only want the third puppy if it's a girl, if it was the smallest in the litter, girls and boys,
Wow,
and
that's very-
this, and it all matches. And you're
To
like,
get that, like, that is like saying, okay, if it fits in this, it has to be mine.
yes.
Like they're like
and,
saying,
and
this
how
is-
often it actually fits makes me go, okay, that puppy was born to be your blessing. There's
That
no
is
questioning
cool.
that.
That is so cool. So, how many times, Carol, do you feel in the life of a puppy his tag gets cut off and added back on? Like,
Oh gosh, a bunch.
I mean, they grow so fast. I mean, because when they start, their little neck, you know, this is not the normal length. But you think about this,
Well, you stick it and then you cut it.
right? So what we
yeah.
do is we take it, and it's got a little sticker right here. We peel that off, and we go around the neck, but we don't want it so large that they can get their paws or it can come off their head.
So if you're
see
like
that? Yeah.
if you're like a maple puppy that was born, yours is going to be like that big.
Oh my gosh.
But if you're like a Gloria puppy that was born, it's going to be more like this.
Big old neck. And then every day they weigh them.
And they check
can-
it and basically change it as needed. And I would say they probably get changed no less than once per week.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna, a lot of puppies, like if they're in a rapid growth cycle, they might get changed 2 or 3 times in a week.
Yeah, because the most important thing is to make sure that they don't outgrow their thing.
Yes.
That-
And now I will say sometimes we get a mom
that chews them off.
who wants nothing on their puppy and just takes it off of them. And that definitely becomes problematic for us, and we have to work through that.
That is where microchips come in
Yes, it is.
to play, and that is why. So yes, we do microchip every single puppy. So if you have a puppy, that is part of, you know, what you get with your puppy, and it can be scanned. It was funny. We were scanning. What were we scanning the other day? One of our adult dogs, Moose, came over, and we were scanning Moose, and we were just going down his back, and it was like, yep, see, he's got his microchip right here.
Yep.
But that does come into, that comes handy.
It does.
You know, remember back in the day, Carol, before we did this, we went through a period where we were going to tattoo their ears. Remember when
Yes.
that was a thing?
Yes.
There was no way I could do that. I bought the whole kit to tattoo their ears. And you know, all the like Schutzen dogs, police dogs, a lot of them, you know, they'll flip the ears. And some of my imports that came in from Europe would have that really pretty, like light green tattoo in their ear. And it would have like a random number. Instead of this, they had like A1, whatever.
It's like 5 digits.
Yeah, and then the next one and the next one. And so I had dogs like that, and I was like, this is professional and great. That was not fun. Because it was this lever thing that had literally pins in
And
it.
it was a-
needles. And you would almost like when you go get something notarized.
Yes, that's exactly what
Yeah,
it's like.
and you had to clamp down. Well, the needles were in the circle of, let's say like Yellowstone has a circle with a Y in it, and everybody knows. If that was they brand their cows and stuff, and they do it with a hot thing. Well, in dogs' ears, They put the dye in it, the ink, and then they have all them pins. You take that little dog's ear and you press down, and you have to press so that it will puncture the skin.
Yes.
And the ink will go in there, and you have to hold it. I was so traumatizing to me and the few puppies I tried that on. It was like, this is going in the garbage. I am never doing this.
What was bad too is that was before microchips were really a thing, and we started using microchips very, very early on. And for a lot of you, if you don't know this, if you have some of the earlier Smeraglia puppies, microchips when they first came out were only good for 5 years.
Oh, God.
And so there's a lot of people that once their dogs are like 6 or 7, they don't scan anymore because they only worked for like 5 years. Thankfully, that's not a thing now. Most of the chips now work for like 20 years. But that's why like all of the organizations like the American Kennel Club and all that requires permanent identification, and they recommended tattoos because it didn't go away.
Right, and you would know if that dog, there's really no way to get it off. If that dog was stolen or something like that, you can identify it, and there were ways to find your dog, like reporting those dogs. So while in theory, it was a good idea. Mine, the few that I had, were like, you couldn't even read it because I was shaking, the dog was shaking, and I was like, and I went and looked at my tattoo, and I was like, well, can you even read that? I messed you up really bad.
Do not get a tattoo from Sherry.
No, I will never do that. Never do it. I don't have a tattoo. I don't think I could even take it, the pain of that thing. But anyway, back in the day, that was the way to go. So I am so thankful for microchips and this tag system. This works. It's great.
It has. It's been working great for a while too. This is a very easy, non-invasive way to permanently identify the puppies. And so the tags go on the puppies. The tag color carries all the way through. You guys at your pickup too, usually we make sure that they still have a tag on, so that you guys are able to take like their baby bracelet home with you on your gotcha day.
The other day I was going through my jewelry box and I found Natalie's little arm.
Oh, it was like
little
that big.
Newborn thing. It's pretty much the same thing. But I was just thinking when you said that they only last for 5 years, if y'all got older dogs, especially from us or anywhere, like London, 12, 13 years old, we need to scan them and make sure when you go to the vet, have them scan your dog and just make sure that your microchip is readable. Make sure, because they actually can migrate around the body. And typically most people give them, right at the base of the neck, on the back, right there, and you can scan, but we found them down in the legs and down in random places, you know?
Where they do. Sometimes they'll get in there and want to move around, and you can get them like way down. And I'll say this, that has happened at times. And so sometimes we'll have a puppy that has 2 microchips because we'll scan it where it's supposed to be, and it's not scanning. And then we'll put a new chip in the puppy because sometimes the chips quit working. And then we'll pick up the puppy and just scan from a different direction, or like come from the side, and then we'll find the chip that's over here in the arm.
But it's better to have 2 than none.
Definitely better to have 2 than none, so that you can identify.
And you just register both numbers?
You pick one. Pick the one that is going to be in the spot that you normally would scan.
Yeah, because that's where all vets, anybody that's doing like animal control and things like that.
Yes. And I was pointing back here, not because it's on the back of the dog, not on me.
Yeah, on the back of the dog. So, yes. Well, this has been a wonderful conversation. I am so looking forward to our Yappy Hour, the first March 6th. All of you supporters, I can't wait for Yappy Hour. We're going to have a fun time. And tomorrow at 3:15, we are going to be announcing our Dream Doodle Contest winner. It's going to be real exciting. So y'all tune in. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I can't wait.
We're so excited.
Cannot wait.
Yes, but anyway, thank y'all for joining us today. And I just hope that this answered a lot of your questions. Christy and the office team say that they get so many questions about this topic in tag color. So hopefully we have answered all of your questions. So you guys have a great day, and we'll be back soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.